What is happening, YouTube? So, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George contract is going to expire next year. And they do have a player option for another year. That'll make them almost $50 million. But the thing is, if they don't opt in, they could pretty much either sign an extension or go to another team. So the question lies, should the Clippers extend to 13? And there will be a lot of skepticism, and I definitely hear the point of view, and personally, I definitely understand them a lot because both of them are injury prone, and they both don't really, play. Um, to be honest, a lot of it is not exactly their fault, especially Paul George, because come on, man. Anyone had to deal with Paul George situations, like especially the Lou Dort landing, anyone would have got hurt. LeBron, Kobe, Westbrook, um, Luca, anyone. I mean, anyone who landed like that would have been out for a while. So it's hard to really control that. And Kawhi Leonard, it's a bummer that he had a torn meniscus and all that. But according to Ty Lue, he said he's all good right now. But man, hopefully he's all good and all that. Um, Honestly, health has always been the Clippers' problem for since forever. And honestly, the Clippers have the same medical staff since 1999, I believe. And I think it's time for Ballmer to do a clean sweep with the medical staff, get a top tier medical staff because man, we just kept getting injured and all that. And supposedly, I heard, theories that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George wants to play. Well, mainly Kawhi, he wants to play, but medical staff not letting him. Which is, if that's the case, then definitely gotta, clean up the medical staff, man. Because I think when Kawhi Leonard was with Toronto, he did play with a injured knee, I believe, and he still powered through and helped his team win the championship. But I just hope both of them could get healthy and all that. Um, but anyways, so should the Clippers extend Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? Uh, Personally, I would lean towards yes because it just is just to play it safe. Because yes, they're injury prone, but would you rather have them walk for nothing and the Clippers didn't get anything in return and the Clippers become a mediocre team? Or would you rather, extend them maybe 3 or 4 years and then, you have more options of what you could do with the Clippers and then, if things somewhat go south, you could still get some trade value in return. And I know the CBA rule is not good towards the Clippers' favor, but I mean, this honestly does remind me a lot of the Blake Griffin situation. Post Lob City, we broke up, traded Chris Paul and all that, but the Clippers still extended Blake Griffin 5-year, $173 million contract. Same exact situation. Both were injury prone like crazy, crazy. Um, Blake Griffin got injured with his toe and all that. And another thing is the talent level of Kawhi Leonard and Blake Griffin back in his prime is a huge difference because Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both way better than Blake Griffin. So even if they would be Kawhi Leonard and Paul George would be hurt a lot, I'm sure there will always be a team that will still give you a decent amount of draft picks. Let's just say if you do want to make a trade, if you want to trade them eventually, maybe within the next year or 2 years. I know the age difference is a lot of difference, but their skill set right now is just amazing. And other than Kawhi's Leonard's injury, what is the weakness of Kawhi Leonard in terms of basketball? Kawhi Leonard, every single year except for the 2020 bubble, pretty much rarely has any bad games. Really consistent, really efficient, very strong inside, can play defense, grab rebounds and all that. Paul George is a little bit more is on the inconsistent side, but later on he's been picking it up. So they're still premier superstars in my opinion. And looking on how all the big contract works this year, Fred VanVleet getting $40 million, that's just crazy. And Gobert, oh my goodness. Um, Honestly, I would definitely look to give him an extension. Maybe try not to give him the max contract, but if the Clippers give them the max contract, it's going to be pretty risky, but it may not be the end of the world in my opinion because again, their skill set is pretty on a high talented level. And maybe instead of 220 million, maybe 4 year 200 million, which is still a good amount of money, but Clippers do save a bit more money, or maybe go for a shorter year or something like that. I like what you guys think. Um, like maybe a shorter year could provide more flexibility and all that. So that way, we don't just take up on dead contract in 2028. But hopefully, both of them stays healthy next season, and then we can actually go into the playoffs healthy, and then Kawhi Leonard and Paul George could just do their thing. And then when should the Clippers try to extend Kawhi and Paul George? I would say try to do it maybe around during the trade deadline, because if you wait out during free agency and you have a bad run in the playoffs, there's always a chance that they could just simply just bail on the team and all that. So maybe if they do during the trade deadline, it's more on the safer side of the end. And but to be honest, Kawhi Leonard especially, even Paul George too, they don't really have too much of a good reasoning on why they should leave, because the Clippers, they pretty much fed in their demands. Kawhi Leonard did not even play during the playoffs, so if he decides to leave the Clippers, his reputation is definitely going to be ruined. Ruined, because you sign a huge contract with the team. You had the team trade a lot of draft picks just for you and Paul George to play, and for him just to leave, his reputation is definitely going to be ruined. And I'm sure Kawhi and Paul George are not the type of guys who would do that. So I'm somewhat confident that they're definitely going to eventually stay within at least 3 more years and all that. Maybe until their end of their careers, they would remain a Clipper, and hopefully that could happen. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about potentially extending Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Should they do it, or you think the Clippers should just simply let them walk? Honestly, if the Clippers really wanted to play it safe, um, they could have definitely flipped one of them for Scoot Henderson 2 months ago. That would have been a perfect way to rebuild, because Scoot is special, man. Because Scoot's going to be a star, and that would definitely be a way safer option for the Clippers. But if they want to run it back with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, um, I'm not against it. Just manage your team wisely. And Lawrence Frank, I'm not gonna lie, he did disappoint me on so many decisions. You can start with the Eric Gordon trade. How do you mess up with that? And then the prospect we select in the draft. I still felt we could have. I still feel the guy who I wanted was the better decision. But again, Kobe Brown is looking promising, so who knows? He could prove me wrong, and I think there's a chance he would. But anyways, this should definitely end the video for today. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Peace.